Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to another Bike and Bird episode. Today we are going on a journey, and not a journey in the physical world, but a journey in your mind. Alright, that can stop right now. But I am kind of serious though. I am gonna kind of mess with your mind a little bit today, because I've been thinking about it a lot, because life for me has been going pretty damn good lately. I mean, there's very few negatives, and they're so small they get outweighed by the positives. And that is real nice, sir. Today I'm going to talk about the butterfly effect. Now, if you've seen that weird movie with Ashton Kutcher, what the fuck is this? Kind of have an idea of what the butterfly effect is. For those who have a better taste in movies, I'll go ahead and kind of run it through just kind of the basics of the butterfly effect before really diving down into what I've been thinking about the butterfly effect lately. So essentially the butterfly effect kind of goes based off of a chaos theory, which is kind of like the flap of a butterfly's wings can move a particle just enough to create catastrophic events or absolute chaos. And if you think about it, it's absolutely true. For instance, there might be a car accident happening right here in 2 minutes. Now, if I would have dropped my keys or had a problem starting my bike or anything at the last gas station I was at, it could have put me at that exact same spot when that car accident happened, essentially killing me. It's something that small that can, you know, alter your life in just enormous ways. Think about the people that were supposed to be on planes that crashed, but their car didn't start, or they got caught in traffic, or they lost their ticket. That small little minuscule event essentially saved their life. It's crazy to think about. Now, the things I'm going to talk about aren't as life and death as those few examples, but I want you to kind of sit here and think with me on the little things that you have done or things that have happened in your life that have made it what it is today. Now, if your life is generally good, this could be a good situation for you. If it's generally bad, it might open your eyes to some things that you could do different in the future to possibly put you in a better situation. So my current life, I've got a girlfriend that I'm absolutely in love with, I've got a house, I've got all these toys, and it's all due to the choices I've made, as well as outside influences. So things that people have done to me have caused those to be a little bit different. So I'm going to run you through kind of as far back as I've traced it, and it's going to be right around I moved to San Antonio. I moved to San Antonio pretty much right after high school. About a month after I graduated, I moved to San Antonio to go to college here. And this has a lot to do with paintball, so I apologize if I say paintball too much. What in the world? That's weird. So when I moved to San Antonio, of course, brand new town, didn't have any friends, I didn't move here with anybody, I was completely alone. Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. But I had lived in San Antonio previously, and when I lived in San Antonio previously, I really loved the sport of paintball. I've mentioned this before in other videos. So right when I moved back to San Antonio, that's the first thing I wanted to do. I wanted to buy a paintball setup as quickly as possible and go out and start playing again. I moved here about 2 weeks before my birthday. So I had some birthday money. I'd also had some money saved up from graduation and things like that. So I had the money to go and buy a setup, and I did. And I went out and started playing, and started going to the local shops to buy more gear and things like that. By doing that, I made some acquaintances at one of the local fields next to me. He's like, hey, you should come out and try our field. It's great. I mean, it's a lot of fun. So I'm like, yeah, sure. That sounds awesome. So I go out there and play. I think it was like maybe 1 or 2 weekends. Became really good friends with the field manager out there. He said, you know what? I see how you interact with the kids. I really think you have a positive attitude. I'd love to have you come work out here. I was like 18 years old. I mean, working at a paintball field, that's freaking awesome. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll do it. So I go out there, and within a couple weeks, I get promoted to like the head ref or whatever, basically like the guy right below the manager that is in charge of everybody else. And everyone's always talking about this girl that used to work there. I'm not going to throw any names out. Actually, I'll throw a name out, but it's going to not be her name. Let's call her Brittany. They're always like, oh yeah, Brittany used to work out here. She's really hot, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I don't want to say I wasn't into girls, because that's going to put out the whole wrong message. Dating was the last thing on my mind. I didn't care about it. So one day, this girl, Brittany, shows up at the field, and I'm thinking, yeah, I guess she's alright looking. She's wearing a shit ton of makeup, but I absolutely couldn't stand her. couldn't stand her. She had this like I don't know how to put it, kind of high maintenance, uppity, kind of ego to her. Couldn't stand her the first couple weeks, but then like I started warming up to her, and she kind of started warming up to me, and there was kind of, you know, this vibe going on. I was like, you know, it's funny how I could go from hating someone to kind of liking her. So I mean, long story short, we end up dating. We date for a couple months. Things just don't work out. Things moved a little bit too quick for my likings, and we go ahead and break it up, which sucks because Brittany is like a daughter to the field owner, not by blood, but they've just known each other since she was little, and one of those type situations. So he pretty much recognized this is not going to be a good idea, so he pretty much asked me politely to go ahead and leave my position at the field so she could remain there, which, I mean, it sucks, but I get it. But not only that, he didn't want me playing at that field anymore, which is a problem because the team I was currently on practiced at that field. So I was like, shit. So not only did I lose my girlfriend, I lost my job, and I lost my paintball team. Not a good time. But with doing that, I went out to another field that just opened up, and it was supposed to be a much better field. It was supposed to be the premier field for San Antonio, and that's where all the really good players went. And paintball is one of those sports that you have to get your ass kicked to get good. Like, you're gonna have to go through that phase where you get completely stomped and obliterated in order for you to become a better player. So I was ready to, you know, put in my time and do that work. So I go out there to that field once again without any friends, just going out there out on my own, which is really weird. I'm not like that. Like, I usually don't do those things, but I really don't have a choice. So I went out there and kind of hopped on a couple points, and I noticed there was a guy out there with some cameras. And of course, you know me, I love cameras, I love media, I love everything about that. So I go over and talk to him and ask him kind of like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Turns out he owns a media company. You might see where this is going if you watch some previous episodes. This is the guy that owned the media company that I worked with, that we took it to the best media company in paintball, and he still does that for a living. It's this guy. So I'm like, hey, I shoot pictures and stuff. I'll bring my camera out next week. He's like, yeah, sure, cool. So next weekend after that, I go out there and I start taking pictures, and I'm showing him my stuff. He's like, dude, you're really good. Like, I would love for you to come on to the company with me. I'm like, hell yeah. Traveling the country, taking pictures, getting paid for it, count me in. So we start doing that for a while, and in between that, there's, you know, a few other girlfriends, but that's not important. The important fact is that by me working with him, I was able to meet Brad, who is actually riding with us right now. Brad's cousin is one of that guy's best friends. The media company owner lived in Corpus, so he wasn't able to go out and shoot all the time in San Antonio. So one day he asked me, hey, there's a little tournament going on one of the fields in San Antonio. Would you mind going and shooting it solo? I was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, it turns out that that person I was going to shoot was Brad. And that was the first time we'd ever met. We had never met before that. So I go out there and shoot his team. We start to talk a little bit, and I found out he's a pretty cool dude, and he's, you know, working on building his business and everything. And I tell him once again, hey, I take pictures if you ever need like product photography or anything like that. Like, I can help you out. Like, yeah, sure. I was like, I also do some basic graphic design and logos and things like that. So we start talking, and after a while we start becoming, you know, really good friends. At the same time, I am getting involved with a group called The Chive. Now, I'm sure you've heard of it. If not, look it up. But Brad had a really good friend from high school in that group. He started inviting me to other Chive events, which is actually the first time I met my girlfriend Alicia. So we met each other on Super Bowl of 2014? It was 2014 for sure. So we met each other at Super Bowl 2014. I had a girlfriend at the time. She had a boyfriend at the time. Well, I thought she was really cute. I know that's terrible to say when I had a girlfriend, but she had really cute dogs too, so that was a plus. So I thought she was really cute, and I loved her smile and her personality and everything like that. 6 months to a year go by. There's a concert every year in San Antonio called River City Rock Fest. Once again, I met up with some people from the I didn't meet up with the Chive group. I just met up with some people that happened to be in the Chive group that I was friends with already. Turns out Alicia was there again, and I remembered. I was like, oh, that was that cute girl from the Super Bowl party. Didn't have the girlfriend at this time. I was single at this point. But at this time, I was actually able to get her name and kind of talk to her a little bit more and actually have a conversation with her and kind of flirt with her a little bit, you know, putting the moves on. time. She still had a boyfriend at the time, but fuck it, I don't care. So we ended up talking back and forth and just becoming really good friends, really. And she invited me out to some bars here and there and just started hanging out. And finally, I pretty much just told her, because her boyfriend had lived here but moved to California to, you know, do some stuff out there. I'm not going to go into details on that. So essentially, she was in a long-distance relationship in California. So I pretty much told her, I'm like, look, like, you're way too good of a girl. Like, this guy is throwing away this opportunity. I'm going to give him a year. If he doesn't make a move and move back and, you know, make you his, I call dibs. And she thought this was hilarious. Kind of like showed her that I did actually like her more than just a friend. Oh, that was the worst time to open my visor. Oh, there was a dead deer and it stunk so bad. Oh, fuck. I could taste it. Anyways, hitting on Alicia, making my moves. The rest is kind of history. So basically what I'm getting out of this is the butterfly effect. Going back to that, I didn't mean to kind of tell you my life story for the past 4 years. 5 years, really. But think about it. Go back through what I just talked about. If I hadn't bought that paintball setup, I wouldn't have gone to play paintball. If I wouldn't have need more gear, I wouldn't have gone to that paintball shop. If I wouldn't have gone to that paintball shop, I would have never met that field manager. If I would have never met that field manager, I would have never met or gotten that job at the paintball park. If I had never gotten that job at the paintball park, I would have never met Brittany. If I would have never met Brittany, we would have never broken up. If we would have never broken up, I would have never played the other field. If I would have never played the other field, I wouldn't have met that media company owner. If I would have met that media company owner, I would have met Brad. If I wouldn't have met Brad, I would have met the guy from the Chive. If I would have met the guy from the Chive, I would have started hanging out with people from the Chive. If I would have started hanging out with people from the Chive, I wouldn't have met Alicia. If I would have met Alicia, well, my life would pretty much not be the same at all. It would kind of suck, really. Just think about it, man. Little bitty shit like that just completely changes your life. Me going on Craigslist and buying a paintball gun led up to me meeting my, fuck it, I'll say it, meeting my future wife. It's mind-blowing. Life is weird like that. So I want you guys to do something. If you're still watching this video, do something for me. If you've been sitting here thinking about your own personal life, going back, you know, through the small steps of the butterfly effect, leading you to what you're at today, I want you to post your earliest event and your latest event. So for me, it would be, if I hadn't have bought my paintball gun, I wouldn't have met my future wife. You know, something that is completely, you know, completely separated. Go ahead and leave that down in the comments. I'm super interested to see if someone has a more off-the-wall one than mine. So go ahead and leave that down in the comments. Also, do me a favor. I never ask you to do this, but share this video, because I want you to be able to see what your friends say about their butterfly effect timeline. Take this video and send it to 2 people. Don't put it on Facebook. I mean, you can if you want. Send it to 2 people that you care about. 2 people that you actually want to know their butterfly effect story, and see what kind of crazy answers you get. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, I will see you guys next time. Oh no, that's not right. I didn't do that one right. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. FM radio. Start FM radio. Play music.